Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and what I got for you today is our new review of the BWhoop B03. Now, the BWhoop B03 is another tiny whoop competitor, as you can tell by its name, BWhoop. It is a good-looking little quadcopter, and it is relatively inexpensive. I was surprised for not being sold from your normal Chinese website. I think this one's under $20 or around $20. If you open it up, you pop it open. Again, it's meant to be a tiny whoop competitor, but with that in mind, it does have a power slot here for a camera. So if you put you can actually easily tape an all-in-one camera to this thing and easily turn it into a tiny whoop. So keep that in mind, folks. This one's ready to go, kind of. You just need an all-in-one camera with that type of a power port on it. Putting the canopy back on, well, that was a pleasant surprise, seeing it already had a power port, so no soldering required to turn this into a tiny whoop. Just double-sided tape and away you go. Other things about it, this one is the altitude hold version, the B03 altitude hold version. It also comes with a manual flight. For those who really want to whoop it up, you're going to want the manual version. I got the altitude hold version because this is also a good learn to fly quadcopter, so I'm going to demonstrate how stable it is, or its stability if it has any, with the altitude hold version. Looking at it again, it is all ducted fan. It comes with a what is this size here, 250 milliampere hour battery. You slide into the belly like so, and you can get replacement batteries for these. These are widely available. Let's go over its controller. This is the BWhoop B03 controller. It's a better controller than you normally see with these tiny little quadcopters. It has one key return, for those who want one key return, by pressing right there. And it has headless mode by pressing right there. Or actually, I think it's the second click and it goes into headless mode. It does flips. You press this button here, and then you can tell which direction to flip. And you can switch flight modes from mode 1 to mode 2, or mode 2 to mode 1, by pressing and holding this button here for 5 seconds. This button here will just do a forward flip automatically without telling you which direction to flip. So if you're flying and you go like that, it'll do a forward flip. And this button here is for emergency stop. And this is unusual. It's rate buttons. It has two rate buttons for increasing rate and decreasing flight rate. Normally you just cycle through them with one button, but this one has a plus and rate minus. And these are trim buttons here for pitch and roll. And as you notice, with centered sticks, this is an altitude hold quadcopter. So let's go into flight of the B03 and see how it performs. Hope you enjoy this flight. Okay, to get the BWhoop in the air, first I recommend plugging in the battery, because it is kind of a big battery here. And to fit it in there, you really should plug in the battery first and then slide the battery into its compartment. And it should be ready to go. And then we turn on the transmitter, bind it. Well, I guess it is bound. And I got a little bit of a wind today, so I'm going to go to intermediate right there. And let's see, that's about it. So let's do the takeoff. And there's its takeoff. And bringing it over, letting you see it up close. Yeah, it's extremely smooth flyer, folks. Meant for I guess beginner flyers. But again, it can be converted to FPV. I'm going over here because it's a little bit drier. They just watered the fields here. Let's bring it in close so you can see it. This is intermediate rate. And where's the flip button on this thing? Let's bring it over close, hit the flip button. Going back upwind again. Wind seems to be that way. It can flip. And doing rotations. Increasing the rotation rate, giving a little more yaw, in other words, for the funnels. Going back upwind. Let's see, what expert rate? No, I guess it's got beginner and intermediate. Going back to intermediate, or beginner. Beginner rate, extremely smooth. And docile. So yeah, if you're a beginner flyer, you should be able to fly this easily because it's very forgiving. Again, this is indoor mainly flyer, but it can fly outdoors in low wind, like today. Okay, I can't remember which way it was pointed. Let's try that headless mode and 1 key return. So I'm gonna just press the button real quick. So that's the headless mode direction. Let's demonstrate that. It doesn't care which direction it's. I'm gonna increase the rate also. It doesn't care which direction it's pointed. So I can actually do pirouettes, backward, forward, backward. That's what headless mode does. It doesn't care which direction it's pointed. That's always going to be forward. This is always going to be back. That's always going to be left. And this is always going to be right. Right, left. Even if I'm spinning it by giving it yaw. See, I'm giving it a full yaw right now. Okay, with that in mind, let's try the 1 key return. I think you got to press and hold it. No, it's headless mode. Headless mode on and off. There's 1 key return. You got to hold it down, but its 1 key return is rather slow. But it's kind of coming back. Now keep in mind, 1 key return is not really a return to home. What 1 key return does, folks, coming out of headless mode, what 1 key return does is it remembers the direction the quadcopter was pointed, such as that direction there. And if you press the 1 key return button, it flies the opposite direction. So if you keep the quadcopter down in that direction there, it will, in general, fly back to your position. But if you're anywhere else from there, it will not. Okay, let's keep this in close so you can see this little quadcopter. I think I just saw a raven or something fly overhead. I hope it's not a hawk, because I don't want to lose my little quadcopter here. So there we go. We still got power for, what haven't we done yet? We take off. Let's do an automatic landing. Here's its landing. No, I guess not. Yeah, that's a landing. Automatic landing, except that, will it shut down though? That's the question. Yeah, generally it does. Okay. Can we start it another way? Down and out? Yes, we can. So you can do manual takeoffs. You start the motors by bringing the throttles down and out, and then it can take off by giving it a little throttle. Now this isn't super aggressive in terms of throttle. If you give it full forward up, it doesn't go up rapidly. Okay, same with going down. So, you know, especially in beginner's rate, it is rather docile with the throttle. And I think the idea being to prevent beginners from smacking into the ceiling, especially in indoor flying. I'm still in beginner right here. But yeah, its throttle is rather sluggish. And again, the idea is for beginners. Because beginners tend to hit the ceiling. It's just something they do. Is my lights flashing? Yeah. So our battery's getting low here. We got Lvc warning. Let's see what it does. I'm going back to higher rate. And it appears to be landing. So, we'll let it stop. That's what it does. It auto lands on Lvc, on low voltage warning. So again, you know, this is, you know, not super sporty. Good beginners learn to fly quadcopter. Very docile. I would recommend it for, again, if you're looking for a quadcopter and your first quadcopter, especially if you're flying indoors. This would be a good one to learn to fly with. It's very docile. So, hope you enjoyed this flight. This is Quadcopter 101. Signing out. Again, there is another version of this, BWhoop without altitude hold. That might be a little more zippy. So, keep that in mind. There's a second version of this. This is the altitude hold version. Okay, signing out.